So this guy, Greg Lobsiger, is one of the primary reasons that we're here today. That's why we have him on every year. He's an independent shop owner whose positivity and faith inspires all of us. The owner of Loren's Body Shop. Everybody, give it up for Greg Lobsiger. Where's Greg?
Woo! All right. All right. I see him in the waiting room and I see him having on, he's
He
still on
was
mute here. So let's see if we can get him on muted. But it's true. It was him that kind of started us off, isn't it?
it
So
was it
Craig,
was
can you
him
hear
that made
us?
that comment in the Elite Body Shop community that made me think, you know what, this guy's right. There's a lot of negativity going on in this industry, and he spoke up against all the negative comments on social media. He was the light amongst all that.
Here, Dave, can you hear me?
Hey, we got you loud and clear, my friend.
Greg,
Sorry, I'm not sure what's wrong with my video. I had it working earlier and everything looks fine, but it doesn't won't start here. So sorry
I've
about
well,
had that happen where like I look in a mirror and it cracks. Sometimes the web camera, but I get it.
it's
I'm
you
trying
know,
to see
and you're
the
kind of making me look bad. I was just talking about you being the light, and yet
And you're in the dark. What,
and
I
what
don't
are we
know
going to
what
do with that?
I'm doing wrong here. I had my video was working fine earlier. But anyhow, we can move forward if you don't mind. Sorry about that.
it's all good, man. It's we can still feel your positive energy, my friend.
Yeah, well,
Look, I didn't realize this. I've known you for a while, but I saw in your bio, Greg, that you're projecting a $5 million year.
yep.
For those of you that don't know this, he's in out in the middle of, I've been to his shop. It's out in the middle of nowhere in Bluffton, Indiana. Has a
Yeah.
population of like 10,000 people, including all the surrounding areas. How do you do $5 million a year in a little town like that? I just want to know what your secret sauce is.
Well, of course, that doesn't happen just overnight, as we all know. We've been here a long time, and but really just we've really grown here in the last 15 years. And one of the biggest things that I mean, it's multiple things, but definitely Google reviews are definitely a factor. You've got to be hooked up with some software, especially like Body Shop Booster and so forth, and other things to be able to when you that car is delivered, that the customer will leave you a review. And so I just checked this morning, and we're at 775 5-star Google reviews, and
So
we
you're
just
saying like half the town's giving you a Google review. That's
we
amazing.
save everybody money. But anyhow, no, the other thing is too is that that customer has to leave as a raving fan. That's just all there is
Mm.
to it. And they're going to go out and tell more people. And 6 months from down the road, Mrs. Jones is drinking coffee with another lady, and they start talking about the experience that she had. And even though collision repair isn't that people aren't super excited to go to a body shop, at least
Mm.
that experience was good. And we've had some people just say that was an awesome experience, even though it was start out as a negative deal. And the other thing is too, we have some real rock stars. I have a couple real rock star guys that are very high tone, very engaged with the customer. And these people have to be smart. You know what I mean? They have to have some intelligence, and they have to be very well paid. These 50, 60, $70,000 front end peoples. I think that's a disservice to the customer. I'll be honest with you. And the white guys make really good money. Both make six figures, and you have to have high quality people that are dealing with not only the customers, but be able to negotiate and be smart in the way they deal with insurance carriers.
Yeah, so you've discovered, it sounds like, that you can't have great customer experience and loyal raving fans without loyal raving employees, it sounds like.
You have to. I mean, and we're having fun. We are having a ton of fun, and we run a pretty lean crew. But I want
Mm.
these guys to make really good money. I mean, I've said this before, but the focus is for me is long-term mutual prosperity for everyone, and that's crucial. Crucial. I want them to make more money than they make now, and in all of everybody front to back.
It's a great thing. Wow. I mean, when you talk about a lean crew, I mean, you credit a lot of your success to mentors that you've worked with who have taught you lean principles. What other lean principles are you working on now? I mean, you're not a guy to sit still. You're always moving forward. So tell us a little bit about what you've been working on.
Uh, I, well, a lot of things, of course, but you know, there's Aristotle. He had a quote. He said the aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain.
Mhm.
And the late billionaire Charlie Munger, he was the partner with Warren
Yep.
Buffett, and you know, he was 3 weeks shy of his 100th birthday, and he said, "Invert, always invert." So he was a weather forecaster way back when he was in the military, and he was weather forecasting for airplane pilots. And what he did is he inverted. He said, "Okay, what do I have to do as a weather forecaster to kill my pilots? What do I have to do? Okay, whatever I can, whether it's icing up or anything else. Okay, I've got to do the opposite. I've got to make sure that they're never put in a situation that their plane's going to ice up, or put into a situation where they're going to run out of gas because they can't get into an airport, you know." And so we're going to look at this from the backwards. So no different than when we're in a car and build that we missed a part, we found a damaged part, all that kind of stuff. So let's invert. Let's look at it backwards. How can we prevent that from ever happening? You know, as we most know, we got to go back up to the front and start with our blueprint process, and then our mirror match process. Did we are we searching for any kind of problem that we can fix to prevent that airplane pilot from crashing? You know, or in our case, not delivering the car. But
Yeah,
anyhow,
and you're pretty sophisticated in your systems, but sometimes you just got to go back to the basics, don't you?
oh, 100%. I mean, and it's ongoing. And the thing is, you know, we all get some frustrations. You know, we have good systems, but then there's days, and we've all, whether it's our kids or whatnot, you know, it's like, how did this happen? How did this happen? That, you know, the system's here, and how did this happen? But anyhow, one other thing we still do is our problems board. And I might have brought that up before, but we still to this day, whenever something is found in build or in mirror matching or in paint or whatnot, we still write down on our problems board and review those boards every 2 days. And that way, everybody in the shop, it's an entire group. And hey, what problems do we have? And it basically whatever stopped the car and flow, what
Yeah.
stopped the car and flow, and we must address that.
So you're viewing problems as opportunities to improve, and I love that. That's a very positive approach. That's why we're here today.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like focusing on the negative, but in a positive way. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I guess
Well,
so, right?
Yeah.
So
uh,
Greg, we've only got a couple minutes left here, but I
sure.
talk to a lot of small shops that call me for help, and quite often they tell me I'm in a small rural area, right? And there's no chance I'm going to be able to get over $1 million a year, right?
Sure.
And some of these people are in communities larger than yours.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for these people? Maybe some of our viewers, right, that are fearful of advancing technology and facing all the challenges with getting ADAS services performed when you're out in the middle of nowhere. What kind of advice would you have?
Well, and as we all know, I mean, some folks are, not that I'm perfect, but some folks are still in the Stone Age. I mean, they're still, hey, all the codes cleared on the Snap-on scanner. Those days are gone. Those are light years away. They at least need to have access to, say, ADOS Think or Opus or something, or even if they're using subletting to a calibration center that's it has to be, the vehicle has to be towed to and like that, at least that calibration center has access to that software to determine that, hey, what all does this car really need? Just because the codes are clear doesn't mean nothing. You know,
Yeah.
you're going to kill somebody. That's just the way it is. And so they have to be on, and they've got to get out of their bubble. You got to get outside of their bubble, and whether it's association meetings or SEMA or anything, and get out, and whether it's 20 groups, getting hooked up with other shop owners and people who are part of themselves. And that's exactly where I was at 15 years ago, is that finally realized how dumb I was.
You're not that dumb, man. Next time you need to figure out how to get that camera working on your Zoom.
I still don't know what's going on. And
That's right, Mr. Big Shot technology guy.
We all have bad hair days. I get it.
All right, everybody give it up for Greg Lobsiger.
Thank you, Greg. So good to have you with us, man.